Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Kathleen Harvey-Wood is the head and principal scientist of the microbiology unit at Queen Elizabeth University Hospital in Glasgow. And she was giving evidence last week, at the end of last week, to the inquiry into all the deaths at this hospital. This, of course, is a subject we've been covering in depth for a couple of years now. And every time there's a new break in the story, I always like to bring you an update on it. Well, this update is quite relevant, and I do think it's something that absolutely has to be said. Because after the hospital opened and they moved children with cancer into this new nearly £1 billion hospital, it seems that the rates of infection soared through the roof. They skyrocketed almost immediately. Now, we've covered how the management knew that there was infection risks. The management knew of the problems with inadequate ducting, the dirty water supply, of the fungal infections riddled through the entire building as it was being built. The whole construction of this QEUH was, well, it was just an infection risk from the very, very start. Nothing was right. And at every stage, the management were told by the contractors or by inspectors that there was high risk attached. And yet the management did nothing. And we've covered how various children, including Millie Main, of course, had died directly as a result of these infections, which, as I say, they absolutely knew. Now, this scientist has said that it was a mitigable, thank you, a mitigable risk. In other words, it could have been stopped. It could have been contained if anyone had acted during the construction phase. But there wasn't. And so children with cancer, particularly blood cancers, were very much at risk because obviously the body's natural defences are much weakened through the treatment that they receive, and therefore their resilience to any kind of infection is way down. And yet, knowing this, the management allowed this to go ahead. And she was saying also that because they didn't want to highlight the problem, they authorised fewer blood tests in order to not highlight the fact that there were ever-increasing numbers of infections. They themselves were complicit in not just the causation of these infections, but there were the conspiracy of trying to cover it up, the conspiracy of silence attached to it. And this is a striking difference with what should have happened. And so, you know, there is, I think it's gone beyond any question of doubt that there has been illegality. And I think, therefore, you're not moving away from accidental death or death by misadventure. You're moving into the realm of death that is manslaughter or possibly even getting to the grounds of homicide. It is that serious. And yet nobody wants to take ownership. Nobody wants to look at this seriously. How many children have to die before somebody says, yes, there's a problem? Well, somebody in authority. The doctors are saying it. The parents are saying it. Internal investigators are saying it. External investigators are saying it. Management are still denying. How can they possibly deny in the face of all this evidence? The inquiry continues, and I hope at the end of it, the police are involved and that people will be arrested, charged, tried, convicted, and jailed for an exceedingly long time. But I won't hold my breath. Thanks a lot. Bye.